Hello and welcome to another Taylor Talks Comics video. I am Taylor, and today we're going to go over The Seven Soldiers by Grant Morrison. Alright, so this is The Seven Soldiers by Grant Morrison Omnibus. I'll show off the book here, and while I show it off, it has a great spine here with different silhouettes of all the characters. Please give the video a thumbs up if you like this content. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Comment down below with your thoughts on this book or other Grant Morrison comics. So here's the dust jacket. Nothing like glamorous or glorious about the flaps there. But the hardcover itself is really cool. It's got this nice wraparound cover. Try to show off carefully here. With great artwork of all the different Seven Soldiers. Oh, it's the same image? Yeah. Oh, I have Riley here, my producer, helping me out here. The back image there is the same image as the cover. I don't think I even noticed that. Alright, so open the book. You have some black end papers. The title page here. With all the different creators you'll see, but also a great table of contents that really breaks it down by issue of who works on everything. It's all written by Grant Morrison, but different colorists and artists and letterers on each issue. Great introduction by Grant Morrison here. So what Seven Soldiers? This is the first issue. All the covers are in here as well, which is great. They are covers without the trade dress, though. You won't see like issue numbers or anything. But what Seven Soldiers is that Grant Morrison had just left Marvel Comics when he was working on New X-Men, and they had this ambitious idea to do a story where all these different characters were fighting the same bad guy, but they never interacted with each other. So it's a team of 7 heroes that never actually team up together or never seen in the same scene together until the ultimate climax. So this first issue here is Seven Soldiers issue 0, I think they call it. Is it issue 0? Yeah, issue number 0. And it's got artwork by J.H. Williams, which is just, he's an amazing artist. He works in so many different styles. Like throughout this issue alone, you're going to see all these crazy different styles he works in. Like this is like the Western side of things, and it looks like John Severin artwork almost. And then you have like this neo-noir look here that looks like kind of like a Sean Phillips, if you will. And just crazy panel layouts as well. Like J.H. Williams truly is just an amazing, amazing artist. So this first story here on issue 0 kind of tells the story of the original Seven Soldiers, which was a team that teamed up together in the golden age, I believe, of DC Comics. And you mix like Western with sci-fi, which is always fun. All these great like iconography panels that he does too, J.H. Williams. And again, like his Western style looks almost like John Severin. But then you get into like this horror aspect. Just this complete horror show with this image here. It's just so striking. Just a true masterclass. But this is like your introduction to the series and story. And then you get into Shining Knight number 1. So from there, after issue 0, you get 7 different 4-issue miniseries. And each miniseries focuses on a different character that's going to make up the Seven Soldiers. So this first one is The Shining Knight with artwork by Simone Bianchi. And then the next issue is going to be The Guardian, which is my favorite. It has artwork by Kim Stewart. So a lot of these characters have previously been shown in older DC series. They're kind of like C and D listers, more obscure characters that Grant Morrison wanted to take and make up their own version of the Seven Soldiers. So The Guardian with the Newsboys was a series that the Newsboy Legion that Jack Kirby did back in the I think it was the golden age that he did that in, the Newsboy Legion, which is a fun series that I always enjoyed. And this is, like I said, the artwork's by Kim Stewart, and he even does like the Jack Kirby thing of having like a double page spread in here. And the story itself of The Guardian is amazing because it's this police officer that's going to be suited up to be the Guardian mascot of this newspaper. and that's where you get the newspaper is called The Guardian, and that's where you get this costume he gets. And then his wife is like, do you really need to do this? Like, I don't want you to be thrown out into danger and whatnot. But the way the Guardian finds his crimes that people are committing is by the Newsboy Legion. And here's one of the newsboys that's like in disguise as a pizza boy. And he hands him this card. He's like, no, I'm part of the Newsboy Army. So he's all these little kids that are kind of like the newsboy guys that are on the streets with their ears to the ground trying to find out where all the bad stuff is happening. And then Guardian finds out these pirates that are in the underground on this train system. So kind of modern day pirates that he has to go fight. And then here is Zatanna. And this story has artwork by Ryan Sook with coloring by Dave Stewart. And this is Zatanna dealing with her dad being kind of in the spotlight of being like a child star, if you will. Her dad being a magician hero himself. She's kind of in an anonymous group of people with, I guess, addictions and whatnot. Great panel layouts by Ryan Sook in here too. Just really ambitious artwork throughout. Like, it seems like every artist kind of like really went for it and did their own thing. And then here's Clarion the Witch Boy, another creation of Jack Kirby in the series The Demon back in the day. But this is artwork by Fraser Irving. And this, again, every piece of artwork is very distinct. And I want to point that out because it really pays off with the last issue that J.H. Williams does. But Fraser Irving has a very distinct style of his own. And I love the color palette that he uses with like blacks and grays and blues or purples. Because then when you get like moments where the cat here, Tickle, really stands out in the image whenever he pops up. It's like the bright light of the series, or the bright light of Clarion the Witch Boy's life, if you will. But it's all about kind of a witch hunt or witch trial, if you will. It's with like monsters and witches involved. And then we get Shining Knight number 2. So then it kind of bleeds into, you get all the different series of those until you get to the middle section of the book, when you get the first issue of Mr. Miracle, I believe. Let me find out where that is. There's the Zatanna number 4. Okay. So then you get Mr. Miracle here. A series with artwork by Pascal Ferry. And this is a different Mr. Miracle character. So all these are different versions of the original incarnations. And, well, in some cases. I guess Zatanna might be just a different version of Zatanna. But this is not scot-free Mr. Miracle. This is someone else, which I don't want to spoil for who that is. But you get homages. Like there's the High Father, and there's Orion and Darkseid of the and Metron of the New Gods series, if you will. So you get Mr. Miracle really struggling with the idea of being an escape artist and whatnot, and a whole new life there as far as that character goes. And you get more Zatanna stories. Here's the Silver Bullet, or the Bulleteer, I'm sorry. Yeah, the Bulleteer, issue number 1. With it, and this has artwork by Yannick Paquette, Michael Blair, and Alex Sinclair. And that story is that her husband is obsessed with superheroes, and he's trying to do this experiment to turn himself into a superhero by turning himself all metal. And he experiments on this little rat, and then he does the experiment on himself, and that ends up to where he kills himself and he can't breathe because he did it wrong. But then him touching his wife, her arm as she's trying to like help him, the metal's, I guess, pigment goes onto her, and then she is covered in the metal, and she has to become a superhero herself. And then we get Frankenstein number 1 with great artwork by Doug Mankey, coloring by Dave Stewart. And this is kind of like, this reminds me a lot of like kind of like Hellboy, like the way that he is like an anti-hero monster that has to go and fight other monsters, if you will. But just great. I love Doug Mankey's artwork. Just a great horror artist. So it goes through all of these, and you're really trying to, like, it's all coming together. Like there's little bits and pieces and little threads of story that are really piecing it all together to where you see how they're fighting the same common enemy, until it culminates at the end with J.H. Williams' finale, which is just amazing masterclass of comic book artwork I want to get to. It's Seven Soldiers number 1. So all of that culminates into this one issue where J.H. Williams has like 40 plus pages to tie it all together, tie it off the big bad. And if there's someone that can mimic all different styles of artwork, it's J.H. Williams. And that is so important for the story, because he has to take all the different artwork from all these other different artists that worked on these 4-issue miniseries and tie it all together to make it make sense and make it work. Like the fact that I'm just flipping through this is all the same artist. Like that's the same artist as that. Like J.H. Williams is just an amazing cartoonist. I don't know how any one person can be so good at these different styles. And then the Guardian story is done in like a newspaper, like as if you're actually pulling out a newspaper. Even has a crossword puzzle, and you have the Guardian literally busting out of the newspaper to go into battle. And you have the bullets here, so anytime anyone's introduced, you get a title lettering there. Clarion the Witch Boy is done on like this yellow paper with this like pictograph kind of story here. This really all ties together and culminates in this big battle with the big bad that they're fighting. So it's a really fantastic story and really ambitious. I think it's ambitious that Grant Morrison really took this concept and was trying to get people to invest in all these different miniseries that was going to culminate in one project. And there are miniseries that can stand out on their own. Like I said, I think The Guardian and I think probably The Bulleteer were probably my two favorites as far as the story goes. The artwork by Doug Mahnke and the Frankenstein story, that's the same as the dust jacket on the cover too. The Doug Mahnke artwork in the Frankenstein story is probably my favorite of the artwork. And then you get some concept art drawings. These were done by, were these done by J.H. Williams? Let me see. Seven Shoulders. Yeah, so Grant Morrison, which I wish we would see some more of this. They always have like these sketchbooks just filled with different concepts and artwork. Because Grant Morrison is an artist himself. I don't know that he's done a lot of interiors, especially he hasn't done, they haven't done any interiors in comics in like 30, 40 years. It was really just early in their career. But they have said, I've read Super Gods, where they've said they have just sketchbooks filled with concept art and stuff like that he'll show the artist. I kind of wish we'd see some of Grant Morrison's artwork in these to see what it looks like. But this is J.H. Williams' interpretation of Grant Morrison's style and kind of just drawing these things out. And you'll see like the Guardian looks way different there. This is a little bit closer to what the artist would have. And then when they passed it on to the artist of the series, they would allow, Grant Morrison, J.H. Williams would allow them to kind of interpret it their own way, do their own thing. Like that looks a lot different of the Frankenstein that we'd see, for sure. And Sheeta, the queen, that's the big bad who they're fighting, is Sheeta. Then you have a script here, 40 pages of The Miser's Coat, which is the issue 0. So you get to see the script by Grant Morrison, which is really fascinating to read. And then here's the penciled artwork that we see by Ryan Sook on the cover of this book and the dust jacket here. You can do a comparison of the pencil artwork to the finished artwork. So really ambitious work, really fascinating. I know Grant Morrison is known for their more out there, kind of high concept pieces. I think this one is more grounded, is more easier to digest for people that aren't into their more higher concept stuff. I just recently read Nameless, which is one of their way more out there concepts, and that one was had a lot more to interpret and read, I guess, if you will. But this one's a little bit more grounded. So if you're into this, and this is out of print right now, this Omnibus, but hopefully it comes back into print. But I'm sure you can find it digitally on the DC app. But I just want to show that off. This is Seven Soldiers by Grant Morrison Omnibus. If you like this content, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below if you haven't already, and be sure to comment down below. I want to hear what your favorite Grant Morrison projects are, favorite Grant Morrison comics, and what you thought of Seven Soldiers. Let's keep talking comics, and yeah, keep reading comics as well. Thank you.